Hi everyone, this is Sam from Booredatwork.com, and today we're taking a look at the Pantech Discover from AT&T. The Pantech Discover is a 4G LTE phone being offered by AT&T. It is currently retailing for $49.99 with a with a 2-year agreement, and $399.99. So basically you spend $50 on a 2-year agreement and $400 without one. Now let's see exactly what this comes with. You have the device itself without the battery and the back basically attached to it initially. So I'll put that aside. You have your USB cord, your phone charger. Now here is the rear of the phone, and you have your battery. Now the battery itself is a 3.8, basically it's a 3.8 lithium ion battery. So that should give you a pretty good full day of use on it. I've actually used this phone for a full day. I charged it last night and the day's almost over now, and I'm pretty impressed with the amount of battery life left. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of the phone first. The rear of the phone, I don't know if you can see that too well, but it actually has a rubberized rear. So I'm going to put that over here, and you see it basically stays. That's pretty cool. The rear of the phone has kind of a rubberized finish, so that's actually pretty cool, and I think it's a really nice feature to have. I'm going to put the battery in. We'll probably have to listen through all the all the chimes and whatnot as I power this on. Now let's see, basically power on. There we go. Gives you the Pantech logo. Now it's gonna give a little chime. Go for it. Don't make me a liar here. Go for the chime. There we go. I knew you could do it. Now, and you get your AT&T chime. Great. Now, I'm going to take just basically a visual tour of the phone itself. I'm going to put this up to the camera over here. Now, the phone itself has it's basically a 4.8-inch screen that's capable of displaying resolutions, a maximum resolution of 1280 by 720. Now, on the front of the phone, you do have a front-facing 2-megapixel camera, and the headphones, or should I say the speaker at the top. On the bottom, you have your mic and the Pantech logo. Now, if you notice, the face of the phone has no buttons whatsoever. Now, we're going to take a look at the left of the phone, or the right of the phone, I'm sorry. You have dual speakers on each side of the phone. I should point that out right away. Dual speakers on each side of the phone. Now, on the left side, you have volume rockers and nothing else. On the right side, you have just the speaker and a Qualcomm logo, because this does have the Qualcomm 4G chip integrated. On the bottom of the phone, you have a USB port, and on the top of the phone, you have a 3.5mm jack and your power button. Now, let's take a look at the rear of the phone again. Now, the rear of the phone basically has a 12.6 megapixel camera with a LED flash. Now, that is amazing. A 12.6 megapixel camera. The picture quality on this phone is pretty impressive. I tested it against my Galaxy S3, and I was a lot more impressed with the photos that this phone, the Pantech Discover, had to basically spat out. The photos on here are really impressive. I have to give this Pantech, they took the photo on this to the next level. Now, a quick overview of just the phone. The phone is actually running an Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich operating system here. The processor on the phone is 1.5 gigahertz with about an underwhelming 1 gigabyte of RAM on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unlock the phone here. Open up the screen. Now you can see this is what is referred to in Pantech as the Pantech standard mode. This phone has 2 distinct modes. It has the standard mode, which is your full-featured smartphone with your full-featured Android 4.0 and all the things you know and love about Android 4.0. However, if you want to take this phone and basically make it into a feature phone, you want to dumb it down a little bit, you can go ahead and there's an app here called the Pantech Easy Experience, as you can see on the top right corner of the app library. Or you could go to the settings and basically launch settings, change experience, first option, and you can choose the Pantech Easy Experience. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to launch that right now. Let's go back. All right, I'm going to confirm that. And basically all you're left with here is, if you'll notice, you do not have the library app up anymore. Your app library no longer exists on this mode of the phone. You have your regular date, you have your time, date, and temperature. You have the web app, the contacts and shortcuts. You have the phone, camera, messages, and you also have your menu. Now, a downside of this phone when it comes to the experiences or the modes on this phone is getting back to the standard mode is a little bit more convoluted than you would expect. It was pretty easy to get into the easy mode, but getting back to the standard mode requires you to go menu, and then settings, and then personalize, and then change experience. And then you have to scroll down and choose your Pantech standard experience. Click on that. Okay, and that basically takes you back to the smart mode version of the phone. Now, the screen has a little bit of an issue. Although this is a high definition display on the screen, this is a high definition display, it does look a little washed out. When you compare it to other phones like the Galaxy S3, which is my daily use phone, you can actually notice that the picture quality on here, or should I say the display quality, is a little washed out, which is a downside, but for the price you're paying for it, it's really not that much of a letdown. What I consider to be an even bigger letdown is the fact that 3/4 of the screen is dedicated to basically just your access buttons and apps. So basically, you have 2 rows of controls, which is your phone and all your regular apps that we would use. And you're familiar with this on Android 4.0. You have your phone app, your library app, that bar that contains your library app. And then you have the bar for Android 4.0 that basically gives you all the ice cream sandwich buttons, as in your multitasking button, your home button, and the back button, and also the settings button. Now, these two rows of buttons now takes up about 1/4 of the screen. So now you're left with only an effective 3/4 of the screen to work with. And a 4.8-inch screen, which in my opinion is good enough real estate on any device, taking over about 1/4 of the screen, it kind of limits just a usability side. Kind of limits the amount of apps you can put on your initial desktop. However, as you know, with Android, you can actually have multiple desktops going at the same time. Initially, this comes with 3, but you can always pinch, and then there's an option to add, and you have 5. So I'll go back to the home screen. Now, this device right now retails, as I said, for $49.99 if you get this on a 2-year contract. But it's about $400 if you get this on its own. Now, I wouldn't recommend you spending $400 on this phone. I think, the features you get on this phone is pretty standard, and I don't think anyone should spend that amount of money on a phone that's just right now great on delivery, or should I say great on style and performance, but there's so much more for it to catch up on. So I would say if you're in the market for a sub $100, or actually I should go sub $50 smartphone, this is definitely the smartphone for you, with 1.5 gigahertz of basically a Qualcomm dual core processor, about 1 gigabytes of RAM on there, and just the fluidity and the simplicity of the implementation of Android 4.0 just makes this phone a beaut to work with. Once again, this is Sam, and this has been the Pantech Discover from AT&T. Enjoy your entertainment.